There are two types of consulting case interviews, interviewee-led and interviewer-led, and these are used by all manner of consulting firms, but what are they? What are the differences? And should you focus on one specifically? All of that and more in this video. Hi, my name's Henry. I'm an incoming BCG consultant, and here at the Consulting Axis, our mission is to help you align your future in consulting and beyond. So if that sounds good, then be sure to subscribe and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss anything. But for now, let's get right into the video. These two different types of interviews are essentially two different approaches to solving the same question. So in life, when you're solving any sort of problem, you normally break it down into smaller parts so it's easier to solve, and in consulting, this is called a framework. And well, this happens in both of these different types, but in very different ways. In the interviewer-led case, they in a way break the problem down for you and ask you smaller questions that will help you lead to an answer to this bigger question, where that could be as broad as how can this company increase their profits? But on the other hand, in the interviewee-led type of case, they expect you to sort of formulate your own structure to answering this question. And before you start thinking, "That's impossible!" I've actually got an online course that will teach you everything you need to know about consulting case interviews, and you'll find the link to that in the description. So let's take you through an example of how these approaches can differ. Let's say our client owns a chain of cinemas and they want to know how they can increase their profits. In the interviewer-led type case, after this introduction, they may say that they have some data on the different revenue streams of the cinema and want you to take a look at it. On the other hand, if this were an interviewee-led type of case, they would really expect you to formulate your own structure to this problem, maybe by splitting profit into revenue and costs, and then you could ask them what are the different revenue streams of the cinema, and then they would give you the information. So in the interviewee-led type of case, it's more about you asking them questions rather than them asking you questions. Now that we have a good understanding of what these case types are, which should we prioritise, if any? Well, let's say you've got an interview at McKinsey coming up, and you can find from a simple Google search that this is traditionally more interviewer-led. So what's not to say that in this scenario, you should just focus on interviewer-led types of cases, because that's what's going to happen, right?
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
Well, in my experience in case interviews, none have ever fallen exactly into one of these types. It's normally just a mixture. However, on that note, I think the idea of coming up with your own framework and structure to solving a problem is a really difficult task, so make sure you can crack a more interviewee-led type of case first, and then look at solving a more conversational interviewer-led type of case. But like I said, none of them will ever fall into exactly one of these categories. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, then please consider subscribing. It really does help me out, and it's free, so why not? But for now, best of luck with your consulting case interviews.